Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another session of Ask Zak with myself, Zak. And tonight we're going to speak about getting ready for the summer months, of course, our pests, and that's what we want to focus on, is how to get ready for your pests. Now, when we talk about pests, we're talking about our flies, our ticks, our mites, our lice, all those things that irritate our animals and can hamper their production in the long run. Now, very, very important, our pests are connected to our seasons. They wait for those temperatures to start rising. As soon as those temperatures start to rise and our daylight starts to lengthen, it's the signal for them to get started with their production. Remember, they've also got a life cycle. They're coming out of a rest phase, so they're getting ready to produce and proliferate throughout the next season that's ahead of us. So we need to be prepared. Now, first of all, when we look at our pests on our animals, our ticks, our fleas, our lice, our mites, everything that's under that banner, we're looking at our dipping. Now, very important, to prepare, you need to check your equipment first. And it's going to vary from farm to farm. Remember, your handling equipment is going to determine whether you use spray dip or whether you're going to use a pour-on dip. So make sure you're using the correct dip for the correct setup that you have. Otherwise, you're going to struggle to dip your animals. You're not going to get proper coverage over your whole animal. And then you are going to get parasitic resistance, or they're going to build up resistance against the active ingredients within the dips that you use. So first and foremost, just check that your handling equipment, prepare yourself for the season. Make sure your handling equipment is in proper condition. If you use spray races, that they're cleaned out, the nozzles are clean, all those things are ready to put your animals through. If you've got plunge dips, make sure you know what your dilution rate is before you put your animals in. Because remember, dips, when they're exposed to the sun, they start breaking down. So that plunge dip that you've got you left over from last season, it's not going to be the same strength. Of course, next one that we're going to look at is, of course, our flies. Now, our flies, they're a big challenge because they can be carriers of diseases in between our animals. So when you've got a feedlot, we've got a few products, something like your red top fly catcher, that you can put them away from your feedlot. You put them away from your house because you want to lure the flies away so that they fall in there and they cannot breed any further. They die in there. By doing that, you of course bring those fly levels lower. You're never going to get them to zero. It's impossible. But the lower you can get those levels, the better for your animals. Another thing that you can do is, when you select your dip that you're going to put onto your animals, look for something with a cypermethrin or a deltamethrin in, because those active ingredients are a little bit more focused on your flies. If you use something like amitraz, it's not going to work for your animals. Even your organophosphates that you get in some of your dips, they're not going to really work well for your flies. You want, as I usually call it, the matrine family. You want those active ingredients when it comes down to controlling flies. And when it comes to your layers, there's a nice way of controlling flies with them. We've got a product called Larvadex that's on special order that we mix into the chicken feed. Now, what the Larvadex does is, in the chicken manure, it neutralizes or it kills the maggots or the eggs of the flies that they lay in there. So that's going to be a very nice way to lower the fly counts when it comes to your layer farm. Very nice tool to use, and of course it is safe amongst animals. It's not going to harm your cattle, it's not going to harm the environment, it's just going to kill those eggs of the flies. So for more information, and of course to get hold of all the some of these products that I talked about just now, pop into your nearest Alzus one-stop shop, get in contact with your nearest technical advisor to advise you whether you can or cannot use Larvadex in your setup. But we're here to help, and we're here to give you all the information that you need to be a successful farmer. So from my side, have a good evening and see you next week, same time, same place.